Hello, class. Today we are going to be talking about ADHD, and we have John here to help explain a few things about it. So, first things first, who is John? John is a new freshman in our class with ADHD, and we'll be kind of discussing the common differences for those who have ADHD versus those who don't. John has a loving family who has agreed to let us discuss his ADHD, and he has also signed off on it, so please be nice. John lives a very similar to life to you, just with a few differences, and his main interests include video games, anime, comic books, and his favorite subject is science. So, what is ADHD? ADHD can be broken down into two categories, attentive and hyperactive. Inattentive is trouble focusing and most of the time forgetful, and then hyperactive is a tough time sitting still, kind of more fidgety. Most people have a combination of the two. Genetics are the primary cause. There's not a specific identifiable cause, but the main cause is usually genetics. And ADHD can be linked to other issues such as anxiety, depression, and emotional dysregulation. So, kind of how ADHD affects John. The right is a good graph, kind of to help explain it in simple terms. John can be forgetful and he kind of forget where he placed things or kind of the small details of his day. John also is very curious. He loves to learn about new things. He loves to solve problems. When John becomes interested in something specific, he will usually do a deep dive into the subject until he moves on to the next subject that he becomes very interested in. He also has a tendency to procrastinate, but with that being said, at the last minute when there is a deadline, he can usually kind of buckle down and get things done very well in little time. So inside the classroom, kind of some of the differences with John that will also benefit the rest of you. John loves to move. It helps kind of his brain regulate throughout the day. So we're going to have kind of some more movement throughout our day, more group work, peer to peer. That's going to help him a lot to learn. And then kinesthetic learning, get our hands on. It's going to just kind of vary the way that we do things in the classroom instead of me talking to you the entire time. Outside the classroom, like I said, John loves to move. So if you're playing any games or anything, feel free to add in John. This will really help him throughout his day. And then novelty is very important for him. So if you have something that you like that he also likes, I'm sure he would love to discuss it with you. And there are a lot of generalizations that can be made about people with ADHD. So before you make judgments about John, make sure you get to know him. Everyone with ADHD is a little bit different, just like your person, different than the person next to you. And then be patient and be supportive. John might forget some few things or he might ask for your notes, but just please help him and kind of come alongside him just like you would any other student. And then lastly, a few words from John. He's very excited to get to know all of you. He understands that sometimes he can be a distraction, but he asks you're patient. He loves to talk all things nerdy and he hopes he can talk with you and join some school clubs. And he wants to thank you for listening